and Wednesday, then it starts to heat up Thursday, Friday, and especially by the weekend, 80s to near 90 degrees. 5:55, Chris, what's happening now on the roads?
Right now, we're following a serious accident this morning on Highway 14 and Bethel Road. There are injuries reported with it. We don't know much more than that right now, whether the road is blocked or not. I would say it probably is. An emergency crews are there. Highway 14 and Bethel Road. Again, injuries reported with that accident. Looking at 85 north around the 70-mile marker toward I-26 in Spartanburg County. Your travel times there on 26 and 85 are all excellent right now. We see no backups or delays throughout Spartanburg County.
Chris, thanks. 5:56. Several families are forced to start over after a fire destroyed their home. We are live with more on the aftermath coming up in a live report. Heading to break this morning, live look at the Sphinx on South Pine Street in Spartanburg, one of a few locations across the Carolinas and Northeast Georgia that has gas this morning. We'll continue to detail it for you when we come back right after this.
Fox Carolina D Morning News starts right now.
24 families out of their home after a fire ripped through an apartment complex. We are live where we are back at the scene following the progress of the cleanup efforts and seeing how people are holding up this morning. And it's tax day, meaning that it's the last day to file your 2020 returns, and we're breaking down everything you need to know if you're running against the clock. Straight ahead.
We're in for a stretch of mostly dry weather this week. Today and tomorrow have a brief shower, but otherwise the sun cranks up and so does the heat. I'll tell you just how hot it could be by the weekend.
Good morning to you and happy Monday, May 17th. I'm Ted Payton here with meteorologist Nicole Pape. Traffic reporter Chris Scott. Margaret Ann has the morning off. And Chris, it seems as though it's been mostly quiet on the roadway so far.
Yeah, we're following an accident over in Simpsonville around the Bridges Road, Bethel Road area right now. That's something to be looking out for. But overall, traffic conditions right now good, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it stays that way, nice and smooth. And weather-wise, Nicole, pretty mild as we start off the day.
Not so bad. Yeah, you might want a light jacket. I know I grabbed a sweater on my way in, but only just for a moment. You don't need it for all that long today. The temperatures should start to climb as soon as the sun comes up, which is set for 6:24 this morning. That sunrise getting a little bit earlier as we approach summertime. Right now it's in the 50s and upper 40s for the mountains. We've got 50s to about 60 degrees here in the upstate. The northern upstate, though, Anderson, Greenville, Lawrence, it's a little warmer than those in Greenwood, down to 52 in Greenwood right now. Sky conditions are going to be mostly clear this morning. You'll see a few passing clouds, but no rain to start the day. This afternoon stays dry and warm for the upstate with a high of 80 degrees. And while the mountains stay in the mid-70s, you might find a passing shower in the highest peaks. I'm talking near that Tennessee line. Nothing major as far as rain, though, and no big storms expected today. We'll talk more about that and what you can expect for the rest of the week coming up. A little after 6, Chris, let's check the roads.
All right, Nicole, thank you. Simpsonville, listen up. There was an accident we reported earlier around Highway 14 at Bethel Road. They have since changed that around Bethel Road and Bridges Road now, still in the same vicinity. Injuries are reported with it. We know that emergency crews are on their way or already there, so just keep that in mind. Again, it's from Highway 14, Bethel Road and Bridges Road is the location. Anyone having to be at BMW this morning off 85 and exit 60, your south and northbound drive times will be excellent. Off and on ramps are all clear, so should be good to get into Highway 101 and surrounding areas for work today.
6:02, we're following breaking news in Greenville County right now, where a search is underway for a person who shot a juvenile late last night. And we read through a report from the sheriff's office that said that this happened in the 1700 block of the Anderson Road shortly after 10 p.m. We're told that the juvenile was rushed to the hospital, but thankfully is expected to be okay. We are still working to answer a few unknown questions, like what led up to the shooting and how old the victim is. And we do know that deputies believe that the suspects got away in a white vehicle. We, of course, will be reaching back out for more information this morning. But if you know anything, please call Crime Stoppers at 23 Crime. Well, this morning, a terrible time for more than 10 families who were forced from their homes after a fire ripped through their apartment building in Greenville. In all, we've learned that this impacted more than 24 people at the Calabria Apartments just off of Pelham Road. Fox Carolina's Justin Dorsey joins us live there this morning. And Justin, not a way that all these families wanted to start the week, but these are, of course, the people that are getting help still from the Red Cross, correct?
That's true, Ted. Yeah, Red Cross is assisting these families, giving 24 different people the help, shelter, food, things that they need to, help them recover and get back on their feet. Now, one thing I want to note that while we're out here at this building, visibly you can see where things are burnt up, but just being out here, we can just smell that smell. It smells like a burning building, burning plastic and wood, just that smell after a fire. Let's take a closer look at the damage of some of the things that you see here when you're looking at the stairwell, and you can honestly see straight through this apartment where this back porch used to be. You can see right in, straight into the bathroom. Now, many of you reached out to us on social media, online, sending us your pictures and your videos, letting us know what you saw straight from Pelham Road while you were driving by. And I want to take you back. Take a look at this video. As you see on your screen here, fire and heavy smoke covered the area just after 9 on Saturday. Now, we immediately came out here, reached out to authorities, and we learned that there were 10 units damaged. That's what we're standing in front of here. Now, among them, only 9 of them were occupied. One of them was empty, and there's 24 different people who were helped out with Red Cross assistance. Now, our crews were on scene as police kind of patrolled the entrance and the complex as firefighters kind of got things under control. And again, as I said there earlier, this morning, you're still smelling that smell. You're still seeing little pieces of debris, even when I'm stepping on here, just little piece of burnt char that I'm standing on, kind of all surrounding this area. It's all roped off. We're still working to learn more information and kind of speak to some people in this neighborhood about, the recovery efforts and just a little bit more about what they saw, Ted.
All right, we'll be, of course, standing by. I know you're kind of talking to folks early this morning, Justin. We'll see what you can find out for us. Thanks so much. Well, if you still haven't filed your taxes, you may want to hurry up. Today is the final day to act in order to avoid any penalties. So the original deadline was pushed back a month later because of the pandemic. It typically takes about 20 days for the return to hit your account. However, this year, we've learned that this could take longer as the IRS deals with a backlog of returns from 2019 and 2020. Remember, you can always check the status of your return by visiting the IRS website. This morning, we want to share a few tips for anyone rushing to meet the deadline today. First, make sure that you are aware of the tax credit and exemptions. There's a special break for obtaining the earned income tax credit, but filers will need to review their 2019 and 2020 earnings to calculate that credit. Also, double check to make sure that you have provided the correct routing and account numbers for your return. And we found that the direct payment option is the quickest way to get your money. Now, while you are checking your bank account information, also make sure that you have the most updated address and or name change. Lastly, remember to sign your tax returns. An unsigned document is considered invalid. Now, you can avoid this error by filing your returns electronically and signing it digitally. We'll, of course, have more tips throughout the morning news, so you'll want to stick around for that. 6:06. Later this morning, Governor McMaster will be in the Upstate to cut the ribbon on a new $36 million manufacturing plant. And we did some early research and found that it's going to come with dozens of jobs. Fox Carolina's Grace Runkel has been digging into this new addition. She's live in ROEBUCK this morning. Grace, what kind of impact does this have on the community?
Well, it's going to be huge. I mean, anyone from the area knows what kind of role Siemens has played in the area for the past 5 decades, and they're going to be here a lot longer now after this $36 million expansion. There are already people going in to get the plant running this morning, and we know they're gearing up for that ribbon cutting at 11 o'clock when the governor is going to be stopping by. Now, we won't actually get to go in and see the expansion until then, but we did a little bit of research, so here's what we found out, a little bit of a sneak peek of what we could expect later. This is going to be a 52,000 square foot expansion, and Siemens officials tell us that this is all to help them keep up with growing demand. They manufacture a wide variety of products like electric boards and cloud data storage systems. And once the governor is here later this morning, we'll learn more about the 180 new jobs they've added. We actually got to speak with an employee beforehand who says he got a new position within the company during this expansion. He says that Siemens and the other business it brings has transformed the community.
It's good in a way that it's showing that everything is growing, that, you know, it's becoming almost like a boom town, not really a dead zone.
Long tells us it is bittersweet, though. While some bigger businesses are coming in, they're squeezing out some mom and pop shops. But still, he says it's great to see people finding steady work like he has with Siemens. So make sure you stick with us all day long, because we're going to continue to follow this. You'll want to stick around later today for that inside look into this brand new facility. And of course, coming up in the next half hour, we're going to update you with some more information as well. Back to you.
Yeah, something to watch out for sure, but glad seeing that plant investing in the Upstate and the benefits that come along with it. Grace, we'll check back. Well, Senator Lindsey Graham will also make a stop in the Upstate later today. We checked his schedule and found that he'll be visiting Malden Paving Products in Taylor's around noon. Graham is expected to talk about the governor's latest push to get people back to work, as well as an update on the infrastructure bill. Now, of course, we'll be there and listening to what he has to say. We'll have coverage for you inside of the Fox Carolina News app. Speaking of which, you could download it for free inside of your App Store or Google Play. Just search for Fox Carolina. You can get those alerts and updates sent straight to your phone. 6:09 this morning, tensions reach a boiling point in the Middle East as more airstrikes take place. How people in the Upstate are reacting to the conflict is coming up. Plus, the Greenville Drive is updating its safety policies. More on what changes fans can expect to see as they head into the summer months. We'll detail that.
And while today and tomorrow have a brief potential for a shower, a lot of sunshine later this week has temperatures climbing. I'll let you know how hot it could get by the weekend.
And injuries reported in a crash around Bethel Road and Bridges Road, Simpsonville. We're watching that one. That's the only one right now. Details on it coming up in a few minutes.
And we had to break as the skies slowly change colors over Greenville County, waiting on the sun to come up. It happens earlier and earlier this time of year. We'll be here for it with another look at weather and traffic and more when we come back right after this.
Fox Carolina Weather. Weather Rate's certified most accurate local forecast.
As we look ahead to the next several days, rain stays minimal, sunshine dominates, and the heat will crank up in the days ahead. So far today, we have a mostly clear sky. As the sun comes up over the next 20 minutes, really 15 minutes now, you should see some clouds now and then, but overall dry weather and sunshine will stay dominant. Far to our west and even our northwest, major rain and storms have developed. There's a pretty significant area of severe weather possible in the deep south today, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana areas, but locally, we stay out of it. And even as the storm system tries to get closer to us, our local high pressure will send it really just outside of our region. So we don't have much of a threat for storms, barely at all this week. Temperatures right now sit in the 40s and 50s for the mountains. We've got 50s to near 60 degrees in the upstate and northeast Georgia. It's a comfortable morning. You might need a light jacket for an hour or two, but with visibility looking good, the sky mostly clear, only a little tiny bit of fog out near Franklin in Macon County. Most of us will have that sun warming us up quickly once it comes up at 6:24 today. Comfortable weather is expected with a light breeze. A mix of sun and clouds has highs reaching 80 degrees in the upstate. North Carolina, pretty good for you too, even though you have a very small chance at some rain. Highs still get to 74 degrees. You'll see a good mix of sun and clouds, turning a little bit cloudier toward the end of the day, but overall good enough that your Carolina sky meter today is all the way up to a 9 out of 10. We may get some perfect 10s in the forecast, but it's going to come with some heat later this week. Skies right now are nice and clear. This afternoon, though, there it is, that small chance of a mountain shower. While the upstate will see some passing clouds, it should stay dry. Tomorrow, another dry morning takes over, but tomorrow afternoon, this is a look at 2 p.m. The mountains get in on some scattered showers. Maybe one or two of those showers sneak into the upstate. And while there might be a rumble of thunder or even a downpour possible, most areas will end up dry both today and tomorrow. All that rain potential will fade into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. And that leads us to the sunshine that will dominate and crank up the heat toward the end of the week. 80 today with sun and clouds, 79 tomorrow with that brief shower. Then it's into the low 80s for Wednesday and Thursday. By Friday, it's at 85 with sun. Saturday gets up to 88 degrees, and by Sunday, it could be our first 90-degree day of the season. The mountains are going to stay in the 70s through about Thursday, slowly warming up from midweek onward, but Friday onward into the weekend, it's in the 80s for those high peaks, and you could have just a little more humidity start to build, making it feel a lot more like summertime by then. Now we want to get out to your weather camera, sponsored by Harley-Davidson of Greenville. The sun not quite up yet, but it's close, so it's brighter outside already. Traffic looks good there in that area of I-385 and 85 at the interchange near the Harley-Davidson store. If you do want to get out on your bike today, you should have no problems. The highest peaks near the Tennessee line should watch for rain, but everyone else dry and comfortable all day. It's 6:15. Chris, let's check in on the roads.
Yeah, the only issue we have out there on the roads for you right now is one down in Simpsonville as we are watching this accident. A little confusing because we had a report earlier it was at Highway 14 and Bethel Road. Now it looks like it's at Bethel Road and Bridges Road. It's been changed, so we are seeing quite a bit of heavy traffic now right on that Bridges Road area, or at Bridges Road. So just keep that in mind if you're moving in that direction. There are injuries reported with it too, so you'll see all the traffic, the emergency crews there. As we look around exit 27 in Anderson on 85. Your traffic conditions there at exit 27 at Highway 81 are looking pretty good right now. And again, no other major delays out there for you as you head out the door on this Monday morning. Our Waze traffic team is available for you. Get into Waze app, look for Waze teams, click and join Fox Carolina Traffic.
Chris, thanks. Where calls for a ceasefire in the Middle East intensify as the conflict in Gaza enters a second week. Right now, the fighting is showing no signs of stopping as both sides continue to launch rockets at each other. Sunday marked one of the deadliest days after more than 100 rockets were launched, flattening buildings and destroying the surrounding area. The most recent series of attacks happening overnight. We've seen reports describing it as the most powerful wave of airstrikes since the fighting began last week. Here in the upstate, dozens of people joined together calling for peace in the Middle East. Our cameras were rolling as the crowd formed outside of the Peace Center for the rally. Some of those in attendance say that they stand with Palestine and want to show their support for the country. We caught up with a few people who tell us that the issues hit home and that they want to end to the violence.
I think it's also important to note to a news resource that the terminology is important. It is not a conflict. It is a genocide. The sides are not equal.
I have cousins who live there, and I'm watching their Instagram stories, and it's literally bombs being thrown. I'm watching the bombs getting thrown at my cousins, and they're having to run away. We're seeing it all firsthand.
In the meantime, the UN Security Council is still working to put an end to the violence. U.S. lawmakers are now urging President Biden to add more pressure to both sides to end the war. You'll want to stick with us all morning long as we continue to monitor the latest out of the Middle East. You can also get updates in the Fox Carolina News app or on our social media pages. 6:18 in today's Money Watch. Today is tax day, delayed by a month. And earnings reports, and the Fed will test the market in the week ahead. Jane King is live in New York following these stories for us and more. Jane, good morning.
Yes, hi Ted. Good morning to you. Got a busy week ahead. So big retailers, Walmart, Home Depot will be coming out with their earnings. There's a batch of housing related numbers coming out as well. And then the Federal Reserve will release minutes from their last meeting, and a bunch of the bankers that make up the Federal Reserve will be giving speeches as well. So that's going to be really important, as we saw that inflation number last week come in much more than what we expected. Well, Walmart and Costco said Friday that customers who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 will not need to wear a mask in its stores and clubs unless one is required by state or local laws. Now, Walmart said employees who skip the face mask, this starts tomorrow, they can do that if they're fully vaccinated and verify that with a yes or no during a daily health assessment. Costco will allow fully vaccinated members and guests to enter without a face covering as well. Well, today is tax day, the official deadline for individuals to file their federal tax return and in many cases state tax returns as well. Now, the original filing and payment due date, of course, was April 15th, but the IRS pushed that a month or so forward so people could have a little more time. The IRS could have a little more time to go through a backlog of returns left over from the pandemic, as well as complicated taxes due to the pandemic and stimulus checks as well. Now, stocks jumped Friday. Tech shares and reopening trades were really strong, and that was after the CDC lifted the mask guidelines. So those reopening stocks did well on Friday. Today, though, back down again, about 100 points lower. Live from New York, I'm Jane King. Back to you, Ted.
Yeah, we know with the deadline for filing the taxes being pushed back a month, there's still some who might have procrastinated up until today. Hopefully they get it in time.
Oh, totally. I just mailed mine Saturday. So It's like every day that I can, I'm going to milk it. Yeah.
We'll take the time we can get. Jane, thanks so much. We'll check back with you tomorrow. 6:20. It's hopefully a happy ending for a tiger spotted roaming a Houston neighborhood. We'll have an update to this story that's been going viral coming up. Plus, your parents might have taught you sharing is a good thing, but streaming services don't agree. Why they're asking people to stop sharing passwords coming up next. And we had to break this morning, a live look over Lake Hartwell. Now that it's getting brighter out there, we can expect the clouds to hopefully move out of the way, give some more room for some sunshine today, and help us warm up into the afternoon. We'll be right back. You're watching the local station.
You're watching Fox Carolina, the morning news.
Welcome back to the morning news on Fox Carolina as we are taking a live look over Greenville County this morning. Sunrise, help me out, Nicole.
624 right now, Ted.
624 as we speak. But some of those clouds in the distance being a little pesky, not letting us see the sun coming up over the horizon, but hopefully it'll get high enough in the sky to break through those clouds a little bit later on.
It does look like a good day. We'll get to the full forecast coming up here in just a couple minutes. But first, it is 624. And if you've heard the phrase sharing is caring, streaming services, they don't see it that way. From Netflix to Disney Plus, streaming services now ask customers to stop sharing their accounts with friends and family. Password sharing is said to cost the companies billions of dollars, and companies say they need that money to fund the production of original content. Recently, Netflix sent out pop-ups asking users to verify their accounts through email or text. It's so tough. You know, people have been doing this for a while now. The streaming services probably should have figured out a way to stop this before it got started, because I feel like people are in so deep sharing with friends and family. It's kind of difficult to reel that back in.
Yeah, and I know a lot of these streaming services actually have family options where it's a little bit more expensive, but you can in turn have 3 or 4 devices or 3 or 4 accounts linked to one streaming service. So,
and that's like what Netflix has.
Yeah.
I own the account, but there's like separate entities. We pay for like a team of 4, I guess, within it. It's interesting.
Yeah. You would think there'd be a way, I mean, with all the technology, that they'd be able to block that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of them are trying to say like you can only use it in a certain like zip code. To where, like, you know, your sister across
or an address
state
or
couldn't
something.
do it. Yeah, something. We'll see. Until they do, I think people are probably still going to password share.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things.
They're way too comfortable with it right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this morning, what we have to talk about now is the nice weather that we're going to see here in the next couple of days. Today and tomorrow, we'll have a small potential for passing rain, maybe even a downpour or quick passing thunderstorm. But most of your days look dry, just like right now. A couple clouds out there, but no rain to start. Highs reach 80 in the upstate, 74 in the mountains. And after today, it's going to start getting another day very similar tomorrow before a big warm-up comes Wednesday into the weekend. 626, Chris, what do you see on the roads?
Yeah, I did some calling around, and the Malden Police Department were quite helpful trying to confirm the accident. It reported at Highway 14 at Bethel Road first. Now it's closer to Bridges Road at Bethel Road, we understand. So thanks to Malden Police for the information this morning. There are injuries reported with it. Hopefully it'll be out of the way soon. Not seeing much traffic as far as heavy backups or anything like that. Looking at Anderson at exit 27 at Highway 81. Looks good there at 85.
Chris, thanks. 626. The Colonial Pipeline is back up and running, but impact is still being felt here in the upstate. What you might see if you need gas today is coming up. Grace?
A major manufacturer here in the upstate is unveiling a massive expansion later today. We'll tell you how it could impact the community coming up.
you're down and confused, and you don't remember who you're talking to. Concentration slip away, because your baby is so far away. Well, there's a road in a distant cloud, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. 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 Don't be angry.
Fox Carolina The Morning News starts right now.
Hotter days lie ahead later this week, but until we get to about Wednesday, we'll have a small potential for rain, keeping temperatures back. I'll give you a good look at what's expected each day.
Good morning to you and happy Monday, May 17th. I'm Ted Featon here with meteorologist Nicole Pape, traffic reporter Chris Scott watching the roadways. Margaret Ann does have the morning off. We appreciate you guys joining us early this morning. And these are the days where I think a lot of folks start getting their garden, their lawns ready as we start transitioning into more outdoor conditions.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get my sprinkler system done in the backyard. Taking me a few weeks, but we're trying to get it, and right in time when it gets hot is when I need it.
That's right. Yeah, good. You have a couple days here, Chris, before we're really going to want that fully done. So hopefully things get worked out for you. We are looking at comfortable mornings through the week, but your afternoons will start to get quite a bit hotter. Today starts in the 50s for the most part. A couple of mountains areas in the 40s. We've got a 60-degree temperature in Greenville downtown, but for the most part, 50s have taken over. The sky is not fully clear, but you will see just a couple passing clouds this morning. No major rain chances today. Things are looking good and mostly dry. The Upstate reaches 75 at noon with a high of 80 today. North Carolina with a small rain chance in the afternoon. The high gets up to 74 degrees. So overall, things are looking pretty good, but we will continue to see a small potential for some showers tomorrow. The potential for rain here is still at about 20% for your Tuesday forecast. Highs stay in the upper 70s, but then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday all turn nice and sunny, and highs get back to and above average. So we're talking mid 80s by the end of the week, and over the weekend it could actually get to 90 degrees. So if you've been waiting for that heat, it's on the way. We'll talk more about it in a minute. Chris, how are the roads here just after 6:30?
Yeah, overall they're in great shape right now, Nicole. We are still following one accident over around the Bethel Road and Bridges Road area. I think it might be cleared, but we're still seeing a bit of yellow and orange there as everybody coming to that intersection. There were injuries reported, so emergency crews were all over the area too, but it hasn't really cleared up yet. At least the traffic is still pretty heavy in that spot. Looking right now at the Woodruff Road exit at 385 North going in toward the Gateway project, seeing no backups or delays for you there as everything is in good shape. We'll keep you updated though every 10 minutes throughout the morning.
Chris, thanks. 6:32. Later today, Governor McMaster will unveil a $36 million manufacturing facility in the Upstate. We did some early research and found with it comes a new apprenticeship program. Fox Carolina's Grace Runkel has been looking into the new plant and what this could mean for a local workforce. She's live in ROEBUCK. And Grace, what have you learned?
Well, we are right outside the Siemens ROEBUCK facility here, and this has been employing people for 50 years in the community, and it looks like they're going to be around a lot longer, too, after this $36 million investment into an expansion of the facility. Of course, they're gearing up for McMaster's visit later today. You can see they've got the tent out already with tables ready to go, and all morning long, we've seen so many employees coming in to start the day. So we looked up the details about this expansion and found out that it's going to be 52,000 square feet. The company added 180 new positions along with it, and they say that more openings will be on the way. Now, they've also started an apprenticeship program, and we wanted to learn more and discovered that 3 people have already gone through so far, and we were actually able to track down and talk with one of them. Jason Long is a Spartanburg County native, and he tells us that he was working at Siemens before and got the opportunity to advance through this program. He says that they paid for his technical school and on-the-job training, and now he's a maintenance technician, so that means he keeps this whole facility running.
It can mean a lot of hard work at the beginning, but the rewards will pay off whenever you're finished, because then you've bettered yourself with a better education, a better knowledge, and you'll be able to pay it forward and give it back to both the community and the company.
Long says that he decided to continue to move forward with the company because he sees them having such a strong future in the community. He says that's why a lot of other people in Spartanburg County have decided to go ahead and seek employment with Siemens. Now, coming up, we're going to tell you more about this big unveiling they're doing later, but make sure you stick with us all day long because we're going to be live here at the ribbon cutting at 11 o'clock this morning with Governor McMaster, so stick around for coverage of that as well. Back to you.
Yeah, an exciting ceremony, not just for the guests, of course, but also for what it means for the local economy. We'll be checking back. Grace, thanks so much.